Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone. So today we will be discussing the fourth verse of Siksastakam. So the verse says, "Na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadish kamaye mama janmani janmanishware bhaktat bhakti rahe tuki koi." So generally we see that people go to the temple to ask from God. They want to ask so many things from God. They want money, they want followers, they want fame, they want a beautiful wife, and they want so many things for satisfying their senses. So that is why people, they go to the temples and they worship God. So this is the idea of the common man, that he wants something and he has so many desires, and in order to fulfill those desires he approaches God. And whatever we see, so many queues outside so many big temples such as Tirupati and so many other temples of the Supreme Lord, where you have to stand all night for more than 24 hours in order to gain the darshan, in order to behold the Lordships. So why do they stand? So mostly 99% of the people, they go to the temples, and there is so much rush for the purpose, only for one purpose, and that purpose is to go and beg. They are just like beggars. They go there and they ask so many things. So here Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in this particular verse, he's saying that na dhanam na janam. I do not want wealth and I do not want followers. Janam means followers. That means he doesn't want any fame. Followers means one wants to become famous. So the politicians, they can be seen going to the temples and various places of pilgrimage just before the elections, because they want to win elections. They want followers, they want votes. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, I don't want followers, I don't want fame, and I don't want sundarim. I don't want a beautiful wife, kavitam. So he's saying, sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. So in poetry, the female is, described very beautifully. The poet instills whatever beauty he can imagine. He instills into that into a particular woman's beauty. So he says, I don't want even such a woman which is glorified in poetry. I don't want such a beautiful woman also. So na dhanam na janam na sundarim kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. So this is actually approaching God for fulfilling our desires is actually not devotional service. It cannot be termed as bhakti. It is just business. So, but actually, so that means, however, we are not condemning the people who are going to the temple for asking and desiring, fulfilling their desires. So they're pious people, therefore they go to God. And those who are impious, they don't even approach God. So, but it is not first class bhakti. This particular business of going and asking from God is not first class bhakti. It is just business. So bhakti means service, and bhakti means the service is out of love. Here in the material world, even a servant, if we hire a servant, you pay him something and he gives you service. So that service is not out of love. That service is in consideration of money. So that kind of service, also in consideration of money, is not called really pure bhakti. That is a motivated bhakti. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching us unmotivated bhakti. And the same thing, Bhagavatam is the Bhagavatam in the first canto of the second chapter. It's saying Savai Punsam Paro Dharmo. Savai Punsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radhokshaje Ahetuki Apratihata Yayatma Samprasidati. That what is real religion? Parodharma. Parodharma means transcendental religion. That means pure spiritual religion. What is that? So that is being explained in this particular verse of Bhagavatam. Savai punsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje ahaituki. That is the supreme religion which awakens the love of Godhead, which awakens your love for God. Savai punsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adhokshaje. Adhokshaje means God. So adhokshaje means that who is beyond the senses. Akshaja means the senses, and beyond the senses, so that is Krishna. He is transcendental. We cannot see him with these material senses. He is beyond these senses. So people say, can you show me God? So God is not such a cheap thing that you will desire and he will appear before you. So God has to be realized. He cannot be seen by our blunt senses. So these senses have to be purified. So Rup Goswami says that Swayam eva spuratyada, that this particular, if you want to see the Supreme Lord with our senses, Atha Shri Krishna Namadi na bhavet grahyam indriya, that if you want to see God and if you want to realize his name, for pastimes, his abode, then it is not possible with these particular materialistic and mundane senses. So for that you have to purify your senses. So how do you purify? By chanting the holy name of of Lord Krishna. So that is called Hare Krishna mantra. So when we chant the holy name of Krishna and purify our senses, then the Lord reveals himself. Swayam eva spuratyada. So we have to first purify. That is the process. And how do we purify? We have to serve the Lord. And we serve the Lord without any motive. We should not serve the Lord in return of some compensation. Otherwise, if we serve in return of some compensation, then Krishna is not pleased. He thinks that this person has come, for some business purpose. So he gives you the money. You have come for money, you take money. So that is, he's very happy to give some money, because money has no value for Krishna. He's the Lord of all the three worlds, and he's the supreme personality of Godhead. So for him, giving you a few crores or a few, billions of rupees is not a big thing. So in Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Savai punsam paro bhakto yato bhaktir adhokshare ahaituki. Ahaituki means without any motive. And the same thing Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching, that you should not desire for anything. That you should not desire. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagadisha kamaye. The Supreme Lord, in form of Lord Chaitanya, He is Krishna himself. He is appearing as the devotee and he is teaching us that, oh Lord, I do not want money, I do not want beautiful women, I do not want fame, I do not want followers. So these are the things which we should not desire. This is the first line of this verse. So one may question that what about mukti? What about mukti, liberation? So in the next line he says that no, I don't want even mukti. Na dhanam, na janam, na sundarim, kavitam va jagdish kamaye, mama janmani janmanishware, bhavatat bhakti rahaituki. So he's saying, he's negating even mukti. He's saying janmani janmani, that you give me birth after birth, I have no problems. I do not want to stop this cycle of birth and death. You may give me birth after birth. I don't care. As long as you give me the chance to serve you in each and every birth, I don't mind. The only thing which a devotee should ask is that he should ask for the service of the Supreme Lord, of Krishna. Nothing else he should desire. So this is called pure bhakti, and this is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is teaching, that you should not desire even mukti. And Bilva Mangal Thakur, one great saint from South India, was a famous saint who went to Vrindavan and started staying in Vrindavan. He has written a verse. He's saying, Mukti Mukulitanjali Sevyate Sma Dharmartha Kama Gataya Samaya Pratiksha. That bhakti is such a great thing that when the devotional service of the Supreme Lord is awakened within the heart, and when you start serving Krishna, then mukti, that means liberation, she stands before you with folded hands, and she begs from you, how can I help you? So this is the greatness of bhakti. So asking for mukti is also not desirable. So in this connection, bhakti svai sthiratara bhagwan yadi syat. The first line of this verse, Bilva Mangal Thakur is saying that if I have got bhakti, if I have got unflinching faith and unflinching devotional service unto you, bhakti stvai sthiratara bhagwan yadi syat daiven na phalati divya kishora murti. Then you will reveal your divine transcendental Keshor Murti, your divine form as a teenager. So Krishna is staying in the spiritual abode, and he does not grow beyond the teenage years. He's like a 16-year-old young boy. He's a very young Keshor. It is called Kishore, Keshor Murti. So Krishna will appear before us in his teenage form. That is his eternal form. Krishna never becomes old. Navyavanamcha. He's always youthful, and he's like a teenager. So he's such a beautiful boy, teenage boy. So that form will get revealed to us. Bilva Mangal Thakur is saying the same thing. Just now I had mentioned Rup Goswami's words, in which he says that by these blunt senses you cannot see, but when you perform bhakti, when you perform the devotional service of Lord, when you chant His holy name, then by chanting His holy name, by indulging in unflinching devotional service of the Lord, our senses become purified, and with these pure senses, the Lord will appear and He will reveal Himself unto us. So this is, and what happens in such a condition, before such a devotee, before the Lord, before whom the Lord Himself appears, before such a devotee, Dharma, Arth, Kam and Moksha, even Mukti, she stands before such a devotee with folded hands. So the Mukti is such a very big thing for the Jnanis, the impersonalists, the Mayavadis. For them, Mukti is such a big thing. They indulge in big penances, big austerities, and they indulge into Vedanta Sutra study. Daily, day and night, they are studying for years together. They are working hard, studying, laboring hard to study the Vedanta Sutra. Why? Only for attaining Mukti. So Mukti is the highest thing for a Jnani, for an impersonalist. But that Mukti, which is the highest for the impersonalist, that Mukti stands with folded hands before a bhakta, before a devotee. So understand. So we should imagine how great bhakti is, and that is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying in this particular fourth verse of the Siksastakam, that I do not want even mukti, because mukti has no value for me. So in this connection, Prabhupada says, he tells a story of an old woman who used to pick woods from the forest, and she used to come to the village and sell. So she had gone to the forest, and she had picked up a bundle of wood, and she was carrying it on her head, and somehow the wooden bundle, it fell down, and she was in a desperate condition. She shouted, someone please help me out, someone please help me out. So it was a forest, no one was there, and there was no one to come out and help her. She said, help me out and help me put this bundle of wood back on my head. So since no one was there, she called out to the Supreme Lord, oh God, please help me out. And God came before her. And she said, when God Himself came before her, she said, can you put back this burden on my head? So this is what the karmis are doing. They want the burden on the head. What is that burden? That burden is money. I want money. I want my family to be in a very good position, my society, my nation, the world, and this is called extended sense gratification. And we do not know what to ask from God. We are asking for burdens. We are going to a rich man. If you go to a king and ask for a handful of ashes or a handful of mud or clay from a rich man, that is the foolishness. of that person who is asking such things. So similarly, when we ask for money, we ask for so many material desires which we have. So asking such trivial things from God is like asking, put the burden back on my head. And that is what Prahlad Maharaj is saying. Bharam udvato vimudhan, shoche tato vimukha chetasa indriyartha. These people who are vimukh, who have turned away your face, who have turned away their face from you. I am very much concerned for such fools. He's saying vimudhan. So actually we are fools. Prahlad Maharaj is telling us that you are fools. We are fools because we go to God and we ask for money, we ask for a beautiful wife, we ask for followers, we ask for some XYZ. You see, we ask for an automobile, for a nice house. These are the things which we ask, and these are all going to get destroyed at the time of death. Even before death, also it may get destroyed. Anything may happen. We may become bankrupt. Big people have become bankrupt. Abraham Lincoln, who was the president of United States of America, he became bankrupt 8 times in his life. So we should not ask for such trivial things. And we should, the only prayer which we should ask is, we should ask for the devotional service of Supreme Lord. So that is what Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavtat Bhakti Rahaituti Tvai. That is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying. That birth after birth, I desire that I may get a chance to serve you. Because when you are in service of the Lord, then we become automatically happy. Like a person, a servant who is in the service of the Prime Minister, he automatically all his desires are fulfilled. So when we are in the service of Supreme Lord, we do not have to separately ask for anything. When you are in the service of the government gives you everything. He gives you, the government gives you car, he gives you all the facilities because you are doing service of the Supreme Lord. Similarly, when Krishna sees that when you are in the service of the Supreme Lord, there is no scarcity of anything. You get everything because you have got Krishna within your heart. So this is the teaching of this particular verse of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Siksastakam, that we should not desire. And the same thing is being taught by Rup Goswami. He's saying that what is the best bhakti? Anyabhilashita shunyam. So Anyabhilashita shunyam means no other desire, that we have already discussed. And this particular bhakti, Anyabhilashita shunyam, jnana karmadya anavritam, anukulena krishnanushilanam, bhakti ruttama. So this is the best type of bhakti. This is the definition of bhakti. Uttama bhakti. Uttama bhakti means the highest form of bhakti. So this definition is given by Rup Goswami. He's saying Anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadya anavritam. So this particular bhakti should be free from any tinge of karma and any tinge of jnana. So what is karma tinge? If it is tinged with karma, that means we want enjoyment. A karmi, the follower who follows the path of karma, he wants the fruits of his labor. He wants the fruits of his labor. So such fruit of the labor, such a person is called Kripana Phal Hetava. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that those who desire the fruits of their labor, they are actually kripan. That means they are miserly people. So the miserly people, he doesn't know how to utilize his life. He has got some huge money in his bank account. He has got millions of rupees, but he doesn't utilize it. So that is called a miser. He doesn't use it on his own self. So we have got a very great treasure in the form of human life, and we are not using it. We are using it in sense gratification. So such a person is called kripan. He is called a miser, and who is the person who utilizes this treasure of human life in the service of the Supreme Lord. He is called a Brahman. So Brahman means Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. One who knows Brahma. Brahma means God. So Brahma Janati iti Brahmana. So one who utilizes this treasure of human life. Human life is meant only for the purpose of, you know, attaining the supreme abode of God, attaining the service of Lord, and reviving our relationship with the Supreme Lord. So we are eternally related with God, but we have become, separated from our source, from our Father, real Father, spiritual Father. So because we are separated from our Father, we are in a miserable condition. So this particular human form of life is given specially for the particular purpose of establishing our lost relationship with Krishna, and we are misusing that, this particular boon which is awarded to us. We are misusing it. So such a person who misuses it, and how do we misuse it? We want the fruits of our labor. We work hard, we want money, and we desire the same thing, and we ask the same thing from the Supreme Lord, that you give us this, you give us that. That means we are not interested in re-establishing our connection with God. We are approaching God only for desiring you know desiring objects which will fulfill our sense enjoyment. So this is called bhakti tinged with karma. So we should not be misers, we should become brahmana. Brahma janati iti brahmana. That is the message of this particular verse of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is saying that after receiving this particular human form of body, we should engage it in the service of the Supreme Lord. It should be used only for this particular purpose. Otherwise it will be taken back away, like the government gives so many facilities like a car, an air conditioned office, everything to the government officer. Why? So that it may work very well for the service of the government. Similarly, this human form of life is given for service to the Supreme Lord Krishna. And when we don't utilize it for the service of Krishna, again we will become animals in our next life. We may become animals, we may become snakes, anything we can become, and we will not get this human form life again, and we will be condemned to suffer in lower forms of life. Therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that we should utilize this human form of life in the service of Krishna, and we should always chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And this has been already dealt in the first three verses. And this verse also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that you give me bhakti. Bhakti starts with chanting the holy name. Bhakti yogo bhagavati kannama grahanadivi. So therefore we should always chant Hare Krishna. And Prabhupada has prescribed 16 rounds. Every day we should chant Hare Krishna and listen to Bhagavatam and listen to Kirtan. And there are so many Kirtans available on YouTube. You can listen to Hare Krishna Kirtans, and you should yourself chant every day. Hare Krishna.